What's up, guys, and welcome back to the DualSense podcast. This is episode number 56. I am one of your co-hosts, Jason. I'm joined, as always, by my other co-host, Travis, also known today as PC2. PC2. Travis, what's good today?
Not a whole lot going on recently. Bismarcky just passed.
I saw that.
Shout out to Bismarcky's family and all of his people who are just friends.
Yeah.
Sad to see him go. Sad to see him go.
57 years old. I don't know what the cause of death was, but...
Right. 57 is a great range for heart issues that were undiagnosed and drug overdoses, so we'll see. Shout out to DMX and cocaine.
Cocaine. How? Yeah, I don't remember. Do you remember how old DMX was? Was he in his early 50s, late 40s?
I think he was 50.
Yeah.
Dead on.
Those guys just, maybe they just, you know, like Stephen A. Smith says, they couldn't, instead of weed, you know, they can't stay off the cocaine. And then when you get to 50 and 57, like, your body just can't take that anymore, I feel like.
Man, you know what they say, man, the brightest candles burn the fastest.
That's right. That's right.
You can't burn it at both ends, son.
That's correct.
Anyway.
Well, Travis, for the uninitiated or the noobs, we are a PlayStation podcast where you and I get together every week to discuss all of the news, rumors, new game releases, and much more, typically, in the world of PlayStation. We post new episodes every Monday on all of the usual podcast services around this here world, as well as YouTube, where you can also watch there, or listen, I guess I should say, if you prefer to do so. And we also post game streams and clips there occasionally as well. And I have a great clip that I cannot wait to share. It's a very short clip, but it's a clip that I cannot wait to share with the listeners here that I'm going to talk about in just a minute. And finally, if you guys want to chat with us or follow us, keep up with us, you can do so on the Twitter at the DualSense Pod, and we would very much love to hear from you on there as well. So without further ado, Travis, I would like for you to now talk to me about what you have been playing in the last week.
The only exciting thing on the FIFA is I found a youth academy player worth like 3.2 million.
Oh yeah.
15 years old, 65. He's a center mid. It's awesome. So considering the only defensive players I play are my center backs, and because I don't even play right and left backs. I play wingers. Like I'm just trying to score 100 goals. I don't care.
Yeah.
And I don't have any defenders in the middle. They're all center mids, but I do train them to where their defensive work rate is high. So I feel like that helps. But anyway, nothing exciting there. Chivalry 2 did the random shuffle.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, it changes it up. It's, you know, because usually you get into like at this point in the game, I think it's fair to say we're to the point where, like, you know, we have the weapons we like, but we've also kind of identified, you know, at this part of the map it's better to use the bow, or this part of the map you want a sword, yada yada yada. You know, you kind of get in these little grooves, you know, based off your past success. And doing the shuffle mode just like throws a wrench in that completely and makes you get good. Get good at certain things or you die. So I will say that the most common, and maybe it's not the most common, maybe I only noticed this because I hated it, but it kept giving me the throwing daggers and the short sword. I'm like, do you just want me to fucking die? Like, I can't do anything with that. Like, you throw the sword at a guy, it's like +7 if you hit them, and then you can't block anything.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. I'll give you that.
Yeah, it's miserable, but yeah, you know, I got to play. You know, it made me play with the long sword a little bit more.
I bet it did.
Which yeah, just like Boy Scout camp playing with the longsword. Anyway,
it's like band camp.
Go ahead. Yeah, it's fun though. I mean, and you know, I looked up the stats online the other day to see what weapons were, you know, better, distance and speed and all that fun stuff. So you could definitely tell that when you play, and it's made it a little bit more interesting. You know, gave it some more Not that it needed more legs, but it does add a new wrinkle to it that I think is fun.
Yeah, I like being surprised. Not in real
Yeah.
life. I hate being surprised in real life, but I
You
like
do.
being surprised on video games. It keeps it fresh. So I hear
Yeah.
you.
It makes it fun. You kinda you load in, you're like, "Oh, I have the javelin. Okay, well, I guess I better stab because
Right.
swinging does nothing."
Hmm.
But anyway, that's pretty cool. I tried out A Plague's Tale, played the first 2 chapters, and I don't think I've played enough to have a 100% opinion on it.
Okay.
I think it's interesting, the story, like, you could tell that they put some thought into the story. I think a game like that, the story needs to be something that can pull you in and keep you focused. I did find one of the characters annoying, and typically that can push me away from a game. I say that, not always. Sometimes, it's just part of the story and you deal with it or whatever. If I can't kill them, you just deal with it. So,
If I can't kill them.
yeah, just certain games, you could just, "Hey, if I just kill this NPC, I don't have to do any more side missions. Fuck him. He's annoying." Anyway, like there was some characters I thought were annoying in Ghost of Tsushima, like, well, really only one, the old
Mhm.
woman that helps you. God, I just thought she was so irritating, like, I thought she was such a fucking baby about everything.
Mhm.
So, I need to play a couple more chapters, see what I think, if I get by the time I'm 4 chapters in, I feel like I'll have a good idea of how I feel about it, and then, of course, I'm 25% done, so I feel like that's a good point to decide if you're gonna play it or not.
Yeah.
You're kind of at a point of no return then, so, I'll throw those in, hopefully this week sometime, and, of course, it was the much anticipated and glorious return of Red Dead Online for
Yes.
us. I'm enjoying the blood money. I'm enjoying
Okay.
it. I don't hate it. I don't know what the big deal is. I don't know why people online are upset.
Oh, they
Um,
are. I've been very turned off to it this week. Uh,
well, I saw some people bitching and moaning today.
oh, okay. What's the problem?
They just
I
think
have one
it's
issue, but you go ahead.
they think it's like I guess it's not as grand, if that makes sense. Like, it's kinda like,
Mm.
"Okay, like, I get it, we're doing this thing or whatever." But like you said last night,
Mhm.
we pulled a hostage off a train, which neither of us have ever done before, or a bounty, what is it? Whatever it was. It wasn't a
Mhm.
bounty, but it was like a bounty.
Right.
Never
Yeah,
had
I've
to do
never
that
done that.
before. That was cool. I hit that dude from about John Elway, that motherfucker with my botas or whatever they're called. What are those called? Bolos or
Yeah,
something?
the bolas. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Bolas.
awesome. Fucking
Yeah,
love that.
that was cool.
But yeah, I mean, look, I'm having fun with it. I don't see what the big deal is. I
Mhm.
just think those are gripes you get from people who are never happy, either the Karens of the world.
Sure.
I don't know if there's a video game word for them. I will tell you my one big problem so far with it. I kind of, I guess I misspoke. I do have one big problem with it, and it's
Uh-huh.
that I spent an hour the other night after you got off making my guy look like a proper bandit because we
I
are
love doing
bandits
that.
now. And I get back online, and you still look like a homeless moonshiner. And it really drives me fucking crazy because I don't feel like you're buying into the role playing aspect of the game. We're supposed to look like bandits, and you look like a moon. It really drives me crazy. You look like fucking popcorn from the Moonson show. It,
Dude, I
I
love my
put
outfit.
fucking bandoliers on or something, man.
Okay, do you want me to get okay, 2 things about that. First of all, I love my outfit.
It
Second of
is a
all
nice outfit.
second of all, back way back, at one point, all of my outfits got wiped.
Oh
There
yeah.
was some type of glitch, like, it happened to almost everybody who, like, logged in at a certain time. So all my outfits got wiped, but I had an awesome, like, outlaw type outfit where I looked like Clint Eastwood from, like, one of his movies.
Hmm.
I had, like, the poncho, and I had a bandolier on and shit,
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I had an awesome outfit, and, I mean, I could definitely figure it out and pull it back together, but, like,
Hmm.
that's a lot of work. I mean, it took you an hour, right? I
Right.
mean, and
Yeah.
it's fun, don't get me wrong, but, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, unless I have the time to do it, I won't go back and do that. So I'm really enjoying my outfit. It disappoints me that you don't like it. You don't like my furry chaps, that I have?
Yeah,
I
that's fine if we're making moonshine or we're running a homestead, but now we're like bandits, and I tried really hard to look like Pancho Villa. I got the guy's mustache from Tombstone out. I got riding boots on that match my clothes. Like, I really put a lot of thought into it. My spurs, match my boots, and then
Yeah.
here you come in fucking fur overcoat, like you just rolled out of your fucking hay bed. The
Well,
goddamn dog was barking at me the other day too in the fucking camp, like we're not in the same squad or whatever it's called in that game. What are
that
we
was a
called?
posse.
There you go.
That was a cool touch though when you loaded in and the dog started barking when
Yeah,
you
it
loaded
was.
in at the camp. That was cool. You don't like my Lone Ranger mask? My
I
like
did like
Zorro
oh, that
mask?
was good. That was good.
Yeah.
I did enjoy that. Also, I have a mask. I found it
Yeah.
in
You
my
should.
wardrobe. So it's
Mhm.
not that though. You I'm ready for you to see it tonight. I almost pulled it out last night, but I forgot because we got into like we got into that firefight and then we had to go back and kill the US revenue agents or whatever.
Mhm.
But yes, anyway, I'm excited for you to see it.
Cool. Well, there's one game that you have not talked about that you played.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about it now?
Yeah, we could talk about we played Arcade Again.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's cool. I tried to make my guy look like Osmosis Jones, but that was because that was really the only option I had.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like what did we do? We crushed like 5 levels
Mhm.
the other
Yeah.
night. I like how it gives you a timer, let you know how long you've been going.
Yeah.
It reminds me of one of the things I liked about Need for Speed Hot Pursuit is you would get into these police chases outside
Mhm.
of the story mode, and it would log how long you've been getting away from the cops. I always love that.
Yeah,
I
I
enjoy
remember
it when
that.
it tells you how long the run is you're on. I always think that's cool.
Yeah.
The weapons are pretty fun. Like my favorite weapon is well, the laser weapon you get, the laser gun is like it doesn't matter. You kill everything. It's stupid.
Yes.
And the other thing I like is the one that shoots saw blades.
Yes. I don't remember the names, but
I
yeah,
don't
that one's
either.
great fun.
Yeah, those are cool. I like those a lot. There's some I don't remember what weapon it was. I got one that looked like an assault rifle from like Halo or something, and it was terrible. But I can't
Mhm.
remember what it was. The freeze thing's cool. I like to freeze people and then baseball slide into them
Mhm.
to kill them. That's pretty fun too. So yeah, it's cool. I'm ready to unlock some more character looks, but that might not happen until the actual game comes out. But I think they're onto something there. It's a lot of fun.
Agreed. So I'll just start there. I also have obviously been playing Arcadegeddon with you. I guess it was over the weekend. I don't know if we played any like during the actual week, but
Mm,
got you to try it over the weekend with me, and I hope that I didn't lead you astray. I hope it was worth your $20. And
mhm.
I still really love that game. I did play a little bit by myself one night while I was waiting on you and just in solo, and I really, really like that game. Just I love the combat. I think they've got like really dialed in, especially on the controller. I think the controller does a lot for the
Oh
game.
yeah, yeah, it does. It's awesome. It's probably
Yeah,
the best use since Astrobot.
yeah. I wouldn't. I think you can make that argument because literally every gun feels different. The feedback, the recoil is different.
Mhm.
The trigger pull is different. It's really cool. They've done a really good job, and then I really like the movement in that game. I think it's worth trying out if people are into third person
Mhm.
shooters. I think that for $20, like I've said before, you can do way, way worse.
Right,
So
and the worlds are interesting too that you're on. I mean,
yeah.
I don't really have a complaint about it, to be honest.
So today, the last thing I'll say about this is that today they released an update for the game on PS5 and PC, and they've added support for something called FSR on PS5, which is through AMD, which is the chip maker for the
Mhm.
PS5, and also on PC. And apparently, what that does is it basically increases the graphical fidelity of the game in some way. So
Hmm.
I'm interested to see if we'll notice a difference when we play it tonight, but they patched that in today. So other than that, I also played Chivalry 2. As you said, we played earlier in the week. Still don't have anything really different to say about that game other than I love it. And that game and Arcade Again have really caught me by surprise both this year, which in a good way. So can't say enough good things about those. And then played Red Dead Online, as you said. Been working through just trying to figure that out. I will say that I hear it doesn't bother me necessarily because it's a free update. Like you don't have to pay gold to unlock the update or the role or a role or anything like that. So it doesn't bother me, but I hear people when they say that they think the update is not very substantial, but at the same time, you and I haven't done everything there is to see, so
Right.
I can't say definitively. So we're gonna try the opportunity mission tonight and see what that's about. But I will tell you, it's more Red Dead Online, so to me that's fine.
We did get a weird glitch that one time where the cops kept spawning on
Oh,
us,
yeah.
basically, but that was the
Yeah.
only bad thing.
Yeah. I really hope that, I mean, they're not gonna do it this year, obviously, but I hope next year that they put out a next gen upgrade for Red Dead in general. That'll be insane if they do that. But the last thing that I played this week was more A Plague Tale: Innocence. I played yesterday and I played 3 chapters, so I'm now on to chapter 7. So I'm almost halfway through the game, I think. And the more I play it, the more I like that game. And I got to part of the story where you cross a battlefield. And I think
Mhm.
they showed it like in the pre-release stuff and screenshots, so they won't. I think it was even in gameplay trailers, so it won't spoil anything. But so far, that's probably been like one of the coolest settings that I've been across in the game. So I enjoy it. I had no expectations going in, and I think it's very good. So I plan to finish it. I think there's 17 chapters. It's not too bad, so I'll push forward with that. But without any more going on here, Travis, let's jump into the news. And it was a rather slow news week for PlayStation, so not a whole lot here, but nonetheless, let's dive in. Number one, Sony Interactive Entertainment president and CEO Jim Ryan gave an interview to Chinese publication TMT Post. And like Jim sometimes does, he made a couple of interesting remarks this week. The translation of the interview to English is a bit rough in spots, but Ryan told the outlet that players only remember the very best games, stating, quote, "Players only remember the best games rather than okay games. If it is a best game, players may want a sequel, and they will also want to buy a sequel. But no one really cares about a game that is only okay. We want the best." End
Ace,
quote.
you are best. I am fast like train.
That's exactly what I thought about. TMT Post also asked Ryan about PlayStation's stance on smaller indie-style game releases, to which Ryan said, quote, "Our internal studios typically make larger games, but we will also cooperate with partner studios to develop some smaller scale games. We work closely with independent game studios and will provide them with some support in terms of development, funding, and marketing. These independent teams are usually very small, about 10 to 20 people. Through supporting these studios, we are also incubating game products and establishing relationships with these studios. Perhaps they will be the next generation of AAA game developer. Well, maybe in 5 years or 10 years, our relationship with these independent game studios will be different." End quote. So, just an interesting little bit of insight behind the direction, so to speak, of PlayStation. What did you make of that? Anything?
Well, first of all, every time I see TMT, I always think of Money Mayweather. Isn't his team called like Team Money Mayweather or something? It's like
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I don't know, every time I can't. So every time I'm reading something, I'm just picturing Floyd Mayweather throwing money in the air, talking about PlayStation. But anyway, the first thing he says about to an extent, I know what he means. He doesn't mean they literally only remember. I mean, we all remember okay games we played. We used to play the fuck out of Winback 2. I would think that's a pretty okay game.
Right.
You know, nothing to write home about really, but we just had a fucking blast on it. So it's like, he has a point. I understand what he means. I think within the context of the interview, that might make a little bit more sense there.
Hmm.
I thought the independent game studio comment was interesting. He's basically saying there in a nutshell, like, if they have something we like or as a product or as a talent base, yeah, we'll give it funding and marketing and we'll try to do what we can to make it successful because it directly helps us. And that last comment they were talking about the next generation of AAA game developer. Well, like, would you not say that we've seen that with Housemarque recently? Didn't they basically become a AAA game developer? I mean, you could make that
Hmm.
argument after Returnal that they're on that course. So I
Yeah.
think he's saying, yeah, we've shown in the past we'll help them with these things, these tiny groups of 10 to 20 people. Sure. Yeah, we think that this is a formula that works for us, and I think we'll see in the future. Now, what does he mean by that last sentence there? I don't know. The context of that last sentence seems like he's rambling or it's out of context or something because that's a weird thing to say. I don't really know what you mean by your relationship could be different. What does that mean? Does that mean you don't
Yeah.
support them anymore? You buy them all? Like what? That could go any direction. But
Right.
the big majority of that chunk, I think, is just a reflection of what we see in their kind of theoretical development of these studios right now. Anyway,
Yeah. I would agree with that. I mean, so about in regards to his first statement there, I think, and of course, some of this could be attributed to the translation from Chinese to English. So there's that possibility, but I think what he is trying to say is exactly what you said. He's just trying to make the point that people appreciate and respond to the big AAA blockbuster style releases. And he's he's betting on the fact that people will remember or be more likely to play or want to play games that are, big in scale or production, not scale necessarily, but big in production value and that review really well. And I mean, that's it's obvious that Sony values that. We pretty much know that at this point based on the whole deal with Days Gone and its Metacritic reception, critical reception, so on. So
Mhm.
we know for a fact that critical reception means a lot to Sony, rightly or wrongly. I think rightly. I mean, that's a pretty good barometer of a game's success.
Right.
Is if it's a very well reviewed game, there's a better chance that it's going to sell well. So there's that. So I think that's just what he means by that. And I mean, you can, like you said, there are plenty of games that were not the best that I remember. Like you mentioned, Win Back, Fighting Force for me. I don't think it reviewed very well back in the day, but
Mhm.
that's a game that I remember very fondly. The Die
Mhm.
Hard trilogy games,
Mhm.
I don't know if it reviewed well. I mean,
Yeah, I
there's all,
played the hell out of the American Chopper video game. I know it didn't get good reviews.
yeah, exactly. So there's always those type of games. And I would argue that as people get older, they become more of a critic or connoisseur of video games. Because when you're kids, you're just playing whatever. But
Mhm.
and then in regards to his second string of comments there, I think this is just the blueprint for PlayStation, kind of like we've
Mhm.
talked about. Like they, I think, prefer to have these type of relationships where they partner with these indie studios or even these second party relationships with bigger studios like Firewalk Studios and Deviation Haven, those ones like that.
Right.
So I stand by what I have said on here before that I think whether you're that style of studio that's like 100 plus developers or you're these indie studios like the ones that made that Fist game that we just saw at the State of
Yep.
Play or whatever, some of those smaller ones, I think that if you're working in a second party or this sort of relationship that he's described in this interview, I think you can assume that your game or games are a tryout. And if you do well for Sony or well by Sony, I think that that what Jim's trying to say is that there's a possibility that they may become a permanent partner, 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road. So I think that's what he's trying to say. And I think that's not a bad blueprint. Why just have your big heavy hitters focus on the big heavy hitting games. Like you don't
Right.
want, you don't want Naughty Dog working on, a twin
Arcade
stick.
again.
Yeah, on Arcade again, or like a twin stick, top down, whatever,
Right.
like Tribes of Midgard or whatever. Like you don't
Yeah.
want them working on that.
It's
You
kinda
know,
like the minor leagues, basically, like, you're down there to develop, show me what you can do, we'll call you up.
yeah. Now, I mean, that's to me, that's a waste of resources. Like, are there people at those studios who would love to make that type of game? I'm sure there are, but like, that's a waste of talent and that's a waste of
Mhm.
resources when you have these teams that, like these independent teams, smaller teams working on that stuff. And clearly, Sony has done fairly well at identifying these games that look good, like the Fist game, like Sifu. I mean,
Yep.
so anyway, I think they're on the right track, in my opinion. Number two, the mysterious Blue Box Game Studios announced that the Abandoned Trailers app will be available for preload on PlayStation 5 starting on July 29th. An introduction will be added on August 10th to the app, with the first proper trailer for the game arriving sometime later in August. Over on the Blue Box Game Studios Twitter account, the developer said, quote, "The idea behind the real-time app is to demonstrate the 4K 60 resolution along with high-end graphics, 3D audio, and the DualSense features. However, the content can also be found online as a video," end quote. When a user replied at telling the studio to just release a playable teaser, the developer said, quote, "There will be something even better in due time," end quote. Later in the week, Blue Box announced that they changed the name of the app to Abandoned Real Time Experience and stated that we can expect multiple trailers at various times, ranging in duration from 5 to 12 minutes. as well as gameplay demonstrations and future live events. All totally normal things, Travis, for an indie
Mhm.
game with only a couple of handfuls of employees. What do you think?
Well, Jim just said they're gonna support these and indie people with hey, perfect, right?
Christ almighty.
So listen, that first quote they're talking about 3D audio, the DualSense features, that does make a little bit more sense to me as to why this would be appealing. So now I understand. Yeah, I can watch on my app. I can go into the app, I can watch a Battlefield trailer, and I can see what the controller will feel like as I'm playing, right? This guy's shooting the
I
gun.
guess.
You can feel right? I mean, see, the thing is, though, even though I'm not pulling the trigger, so anyway, you get the idea. That I
Yeah.
assume that that's the appeal of it, right?
Yeah.
So I could
Same.
see how Sony might think that's cool, because it's
Yeah.
showing off their audio and their controller features, right? Like, there's just so many it's just so weird. The abandoned now it's called abandoned real time experience. I don't know why we needed to change that. The other day, like you said the other day, it was on the home screen. Just said abandoned really big across the home screen. It's like,
Hmm.
why
Yeah.
do we have that? Why is that a thing?
Yeah. On
You
the
know?
PlayStation 5, when you scroll to the PlayStation Store, Abandoned just had the entire splash screen.
Yeah, and like yesterday when I turned it on, it was LeBron as a Fortnite character. So, like, you know what I mean? Like that okay, that makes sense. That's LeBron in fucking Fortnite, right? I got it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but then it's abandoned? Like, what are you talking about? So,
Yeah.
it is doing nothing but confusing me more. I think also that didn't this news story come out, like, in the middle of the workday in Japan, and they're supposed to be in the Netherlands, like, that happened again.
Yeah. Keeps happening.
Listen, I don't know, man. There's just basically in a month, we're gonna have some sort of an answer. So, that's what I'm getting out of this.
Yeah. I know I talked last week about Bokeh Game Studio, the guys who left Sony Japan, who said they're aiming for the Siren and Silent Hill audience. I thought that was probably them now working on Silent Hill because we know Konami has a second license out, so on. Fuck that. That is not true. This I am all the way back in. This is 100% Hideo Kojima, Blue Box Game Studios, and
Well,
Abandoned.
he said he was making a trailer the other day, remember? You tweeted it
Yeah,
or retweeted it.
yes, he's working on a trailer. He's been tweeting
For
constantly.
this!
He's been tweeting constantly about making a trailer. He said, "Do you all want me to make a launch trailer for Death Stranding director's cut?" Is what he said. And then
Mm.
he does all that, and then he said some cryptic shit along the way. So we know that he's working on a trailer. Okay. Then we also know, well, we don't know, but there is a rumor that there is going to be a PlayStation event in the middle of August. There's been a rumor that there will be one around August the 12th, which I think we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But so this lines up with the app, whatever, having an introduction on August the 10th, and then the first trailer sometime later in August. Okay. Even that stuff aside, again, back to the point, how are these guys making not only a game, okay, with 4K 60 photorealistic graphics with 3D audio and DualSense support,
A lot of money.
okay, on 250,000 or whatever the dude said he was using, okay? That's the first thing. Secondarily, how are they no first party studio, no second party studio yet on PS5 has done anything like having an app that renders trailers or playable teasers in real time utilizing the DualSense controller features as you watch that is going to be 5 to 12 minutes long. It's going to accommodate future live events. They want us to believe that these guys who have, again, not made dick ever, they've
Mhm.
made nothing of consequence, are able to pull all of this off. And there's literally, we know nothing about the studio other than some guy named Hassan Karaman who looks like a underwear model from Turkey is the damn studio head.
Mhm.
The guy's always groomed perfectly, wears a turtleneck in every video. Like, come on, dude, give me a break. Like, that guy's an
Well,
actor. That guy's an actor hired to do these videos. They're paying him probably like $2,000 a pop to make these 45-second videos to put on Twitter. I mean, this is bullshit. This is Kojima. I'm
or
all in on this.
or he's not lying, maybe he got 250K to do this. Um,
Hey, you know you know what? I mean, that's a good theory.
well, it's called Abandon, like, if you're gonna make an app to showcase your video or your games as a PlayStation as a company, why would you call it Abandon? Abandon is a perfect horror title. It's like You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, they wouldn't call it PlayStation would not it's just odd that part I've never really gotten my head wrapped around. It's just something about the name to me says, "Why would PlayStation care as much as they seem to?" 'Cause it almost feels like they're gonna focus on just those types of games.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just odd to me. That's an odd thing to me.
I can tell you that if it's not Kojima behind this, because all of this is very Kojima-esque, if it's not him, then this has just been, again, one incredible set of circumstance, and I just it will blow my mind. Like, I don't know. It's too many coincidences and too much mystery and he liked the either Hassan or the Blue Box Twitter account liked a tweet from Hideo Kojima like yesterday or the day before.
Uh-huh.
Like
You
why are they
yeah.
if they're wanting to if they don't want people to believe that that's what they're doing, why are they liking those tweets? Like why
Mhm.
are you playing it? Why are you leaning into that?
You
Like
know what you sound like?
what?
You sound like one of these you sound like one of these online sleuths trying to figure out what happened to the Black Dahlia. Listen, man, there was fucking listen, he was a studio head, I know, but then he ate dinner with another studio head. I think he fucking killed her because he was a dentist. He knew how to use tools.
I know I sound crazy, but I don't buy this bullshit and I want to be vindicated. But if I'm not, it's fine. It's not like I'm going to play the game anyway if it's a horror game. Like I don't give a shit if it's Silent Hill or Abandoned. Like I'm not going to play it
Mhm,
one way or the other, but
mhm.
it's just cool and
I
fun to
just
see what
assumed it was gonna be called Silent Hill: Abandoned. That's what I assumed we were gonna get,
Ooh,
but
okay.
I don't think that listen, SL could be anything. It could be suicide pill, it could be, um, whatever else it could
Scandal?
be anything.
Yeah. Scandal, which I don't know.
Oh, good. See, there you go. See?
Mm,
It's not
yeah.
Silent Hill necessarily, right, guys?
Number 3, PlayStation appears to be planning a PlayStation 5 beta test for the upcoming Gran Turismo 7, Travis, according to website Push Square and others. The test was first discovered by GT Planet via the Experience PlayStation portal on the official PlayStation website. On the website, users can complete various quests to earn rewards, one of which was a Gran Turismo quest that required users to watch 10 seconds of the game's live demo. After doing so, users were granted a placeholder redemption code to join the unannounced beta test. Elsewhere, developer Polyphony Digital and hardware peripheral manufacturer Fanatec announced a partnership on an exclusive new set of Gran Turismo 7 branded peripherals, including a sim racing wheel. Jesus Christ, please take it away. I can't say peripheral. What do you think? What do you think?
Well, I told you, when this whole thing started that it was gonna come out on time.
Yes, you did.
Part of the reason is every Gran Turismo game is gonna have these peripherals that come out that are licensed with it. It's usually something random, but in this case, it's a pretty badass sim racing wheel with Fanatec. So Fanatec is considered one of the best sim racing equipment people out there, at least in my world the people that I race with. So that's gonna be sweet. That wheel will probably be pretty kick ass, but I don't need it, so I'm not gonna buy it.
Mhm.
So that's cool. I mean, the listen, GT Planet is wild. Like GT Planet is always on some shit, and it's good to follow them if you're interested in sim racing, especially Gran Turismo. But to be honest with you, I haven't even done the quest yet to get a placeholder redemption code. I'm
Oh,
not.
they've taken it down,
Yeah. So I was gonna
which
say
means it's
like
real.
exactly. So we know it's real. We know it's coming. It's about this first. It's about fucking time. And I get so tired. God, I watched a video earlier today on the sim racing Reddit of this guy, two guys playing Gran Turismo, and a guy tried to pass a guy in the grass and then blame the guy who didn't give him any space. It's like that shit makes me just want to sell all my equipment and then never play again. But anyway, we're getting there. Is what I'm seeing is we're getting there. So I
Yeah.
forget how long we had after the beta last time. I feel like we had like 5 or 6 months after the beta last time. So I mean that puts us on holiday release. That sounds about right. I think a holiday push for this game would be about right.
My theory is that we're going to get Horizon Forbidden West late this year, maybe even December. Okay. And then I think we're going to get Gran Turismo 7 in February ish. And then we're going to get God of War next summer. And then next fall, I have no idea. We don't even really know what's coming beyond those 3 games that I just mentioned. So that's kind of my theory. But the beta test is real. It's just a matter of when. They wouldn't have all of that on there if it wasn't
Right.
kind of like the tweet about Blue Point Games last week being
Mhm.
acquired with that graphic. So
Well, and I hope that the people that got the beta codes are people that understand and actually sim race. I don't want it to be some jerk offs who just play the game occasionally. Like, I want it to be the guys who qualified for the Olympics. I want it to be guys who race in leagues, guys who are on Discord to talk about it all the time, that play iRacing, that play R Factor, that play Assetto Corsa. I want real people because the only way to make this game better and to fix the things that people hate from GT Sport is to get people who actually do it. Like,
right.
I don't need people who play on the controller. You don't need to worry about it. Don't fucking bother because it doesn't matter on the controller. You're gonna like it either way. Like the people that have issues with it are the ones that are used to certain sensitivities with the wheel that you get on F1 that you get on iRacing. And just to be frank, Gran Turismo doesn't always have those things. So anyway, I hope that the beta testers are legitimate testers and legitimate guys. That's my only hope.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is that anyone who got their hands on this placeholder code, it was just bullshit. It didn't do anything. It was 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0 1. So
Right. Well,
it didn't.
we know that that works then for when it actually goes live.
Right. So anyway, we'll see. We'll see if that's upcoming or forthcoming, I should say, at any potential August event, maybe. Hopefully, we'll see. Number 4, sales analyst firm the NPD Group released June's video game industry data on Friday. PlayStation 5 remains the fastest unit selling console hardware platform in U.S. history, based on lifetime sales in a system's first 8 months on the market, and excluding portable consoles. If you do include portables, only the Game Boy Advance sold more units over its first 8 months than the PlayStation 5. Pretty incredible.
Right. And you know what's funny about that is I remember when the Game Boy came out and every fucking body had one.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Yes,
so according to that, that is the only thing that has sold more than PlayStation 5s. But you don't really hear that with it. It doesn't seem like everybody has one, does it?
correct. Exactly.
That's so weird to me. But
Everybody's still
hey,
bitching about it.
go figure, right? I mean, blame the media again, just like this damn coronavirus and a terrorist, all this other. I mean, anyway, no, that's pretty incredible. I know I shared that GIF with you guys from Reddit of that that circle chart showing you the percentages of market
Hmm.
each console has, and of course now the Switch is at like 52%.
Right.
Of course, the five's eating into that, but I thought the most incredible thing I did not realize the PS2 had like 50% of the market.
That's correct. It was a
Uh,
beast.
I mean, I knew that, but I knew that, but to see it visually, it was like, fuck, like that is wow. Even when the three came out, people were still buying the two. Like,
Right.
that's just unbelievable to me. That is so
Yeah.
crazy.
Also here, Travis, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart was the top selling game overall, regardless of platform. It was joined on the overall list by MLB The Show 21 at number 4 and Spider Man Miles Morales at number 9. Ratchet achieved the highest launch month dollar sales of any title in the franchise's history, more than doubling the previous high set by
Damn.
2016's Ratchet and Clank remake. The top 10 games on PS4 and PS5 were in order. Number 1, of course, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, followed by Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, MLB The Show 21, Spider Man Miles Morales, Resident Evil Village, Scarlet Nexus, Minecraft, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Ghost of Tsushima, Final Fantasy VII Remake at number 10. And then finally, here on the list of overall best sellers for the entire year of 2021, MLB The Show sits at number 3, followed by Miles Morales at number 5. What do you think about any of that? Anything stand out?
When you say overall bestsellers for the entire year, like what is it one and two?
Ooh, that's a
Like
good
like
question.
why did you point out Miles Morales in the show? Why is that so important to you?
Just because those are PlayStation games.
Okay. So it could be something on it could be like League of Legends on PC or something.
Yeah, overall means regardless of platform.
Right, okay. I thought that was your reasoning, but I wanted to make sure in case anybody listening was confused
Yeah, I would say Call
or
of
you're
Duty Black Ops is 1 or 2 probably,
right.
and then yeah.
So Ratchet and Clank doubling the sales mark. I mean, that's way more than I expected. I thought maybe it would be the best selling one in that franchise, but to double the previous high is insane, regardless of what you've done before. Like
Mhm.
that's wild to me. Again, Assassin's Creed and Minecraft are all going to live here until the end of time.
Minecraft surprises me still.
It's just unbelievable to me. No surprise about Resident Evil there. Can you explain this Call of Duty Black Ops thing that I tweeted at you about yesterday and said, "What year am I in?"
So
I
that
don't understand what I read.
so the guy that runs PlayStation Game Size, I don't believe is an English speaker, like a native English speaker. Does that make sense? So
Uh-huh.
I think that he mistakenly called it Black Ops Cold War, even though he means the next Call of Duty.
Okay. That's what
So
I thought, but I read that and I was like, "Did I go back in time?" Because something else happened yesterday that made me question what year it was. Like, I was driving somewhere and I was like, "I'm gonna it's fucking 2020 again." I must have bumped into my parallel universe self, and I just sucked back into 2020 without coronavirus. That's what happened.
that's funny.
I had to check my computer when I got back to work, and then I was like, "Am I going crazy?" I actually considered that as a reality. But no, that's really about it.
Yeah.
I mean, God, it's hard to imagine that Miles Morales is at 5 overall. Like, I it's just hard for me to understand how it stayed.
Yeah. I mean, it's an awesome game, but I think it can be attributed to more and more people getting the PS5, and
It's just fun, right?
a lot of people are getting that as their first game, or they're getting it in a bundle or whatever. So I think that's why it's sticking around. It will probably stick around on lists throughout the end of the year, is my opinion. But Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart had a huge launch, so
Yes.
congratulations to those guys. That's a very big win for Sony, and Insomniac just putting out bangers left and right, really buttressing the PlayStation 5 launch, as we have talked about with Miles and now Ratchet and Clank. So that's just insane. Those guys are killing it. And then PS5 is off to an incredible start. And can you imagine what that would be like if they didn't have any supply constraint on the system? So,
Maybe it's counterintuitive. It's supply and demand. Maybe that's part of it.
right. Number 5, Sony released the PlayStation Store's top downloads for the month of June, very much in the same vein as the NPD group here. And on PlayStation 5, the top downloaded game was, of course, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, followed by Chivalry 2 at number 2, followed by Spider Man Miles Morales at 3, Guilty Gear Strive, Scarlet Nexus, Dark Alliance, NBA 2K21, FIFA 21, Mortal Kombat 11, MLB The Show 21, It Takes Two, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, Jedi Fallen Order, Returnal, Demon Souls, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Rainbow Six Siege, Resident Evil Village, and Metro Exodus at number 20. On PS4, the top downloaded games were Cyberpunk 2077 at number 1, Grand Theft Auto 5, NBA 2K21, Minecraft, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, Chivalry 2, Rust Console Edition, MLB The Show 21, God of War, Far Cry 5, Knockout City, Red Dead Redemption 2, Friday the 13th, the game, CarX Drift Racing Online, whatever the fuck that is.
Some of the guys I race with play that.
Really? Okay. Guilty Gear Strive, Mortal Kombat 11, FIFA 21, Dark Alliance, Need for Speed Heat, and UFC 4. Then over on PSVR, the number one most downloaded game was Beat Saber, followed by Job Simulator, Super Hot, Rick and Morty, Virtual Reality, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, Creed Rise to Glory, Gorn, Swordsman or Swordsman, Gun Club, Vacation Simulator
Perfect.
at number 10. And then finally on the free to play list, the top downloaded free to play game was, of course, Fortnite, followed by Warzone, Rocket League, Genshin Impact, Apex Legends, something called Rec Room, Brawlhalla, Destiny 2, Rogue Company, and DC Universe Online at number 10. All right, a lot to take in there. Anything on any of these lists stand out to you?
Yeah, starting with the 5, nothing shocking there about Ratchet and Clank being number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Excited to see Chivalry 2 at number 2.
Yeah, it's excellent.
That's awesome. The reviews are awesome. Also getting into games and they're mostly full most of the time. We get a couple AI
Mm-hmm.
guys, but just like on Battlefield, when there's a human that pumps them right out and puts a human in. So,
Yep.
I think we can attest that yes, that has a player base. We see
Yeah.
it tonight when we play.
Yeah.
The obvious thing to point out here is Cyberpunk being number 1 on the PS4. I feel like that is
Yeah.
a WTF exclamation point there.
Right.
especially when they said, "Hey, it's not gonna fucking work if you're on the base edition." So I assume all these
Yeah.
guys are at least on the pro.
Yeah.
But one of the things I wanted to point out when you look at the PS5 and the PS4 list is when I look at the 5, I see, to your point, what you talked about last week about gamers and their ages. When I look at the 5, I'm seeing games that I think older people play.
Hmm.
And when I look at
Interesting.
the 4, I'm seeing games that I feel like younger people are downloading. Does that make sense? Like we're
Mhm.
not playing Knockout City. We've already done GTA 5.
Mhm.
Friday the 13th, been there, done that. That seems
Mm.
like something the kids would do. Not playing Mortal Kombat. Take out all the other athletic games because, I mean, those are kind of, they go wherever. The Car X Drift Racing online, like that's when you look at the artwork of the cover, it feels like something a kid would think looks cool. I'm just saying. Because then up at the top on the 5, I mean, it's aside from like, again, take out the sports games, but like Jedi Fallen Order might be the only thing you could suggest would be something a kid would play. But you got like the Final Fantasy VII remake, stuff like that. Like these all feel like games that older people are attracted to. And I know some of those games you can't get on the 4, like you can't play
Mhm.
Ratchet and Clank or whatever. I get that, but my point is, I just feel like as we've gotten further in the life of the PS5, there seems to be some sort of diversion between the games that people seem to attract with each console. It's just kind of I don't know, it's the feeling I get when I look at the list. But other than that, again, I can't see the game called Gorn without thinking of what is that? Law and Order, Detective Gorn.
Oh, okay. Is that a
Yeah,
character?
yeah. Vacation Simulator sounds terrible. Like I just feel like you play on a vacation and there's kids everywhere. The flight's delayed. Like I just feel like that's how I would
Mm.
make the game. And it just occurred to me that GT7 could be a really good catalyst for PSVR 2,
Mm.
and that I'm excited about that because I've heard that racing in VR makes you want to vomit. So I'm down for that. I'm willing to spend $300 to vomit in my racing rig.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for me, my observations about these lists are, other than Ratchet and Clank absolutely dominating, of course, is Chivalry 2 at number 2 on the most downloaded list for PS5. That's incredible and awesome. And as you guys know, it's very well deserved, in my opinion. And I have evangelized that game quite a bit. It's very
Could it
deserving. And
could it be a dark horse game of the year?
I honestly think so. And remember, I told you PlayStation Universe gave it its only 10 out of 10 this so far
Right.
this year, and they said it was their early contender for Game of the Year. So
Yeah, it's gonna be hard for it to beat. Like if you did a multiplayer game of the year, like it's gonna be hard to beat Battlefield probably this year, I would assume, but
yeah, but
that
if you
doesn't
think
take away from it.
if you think about it though, like what else is coming out this year that's really going to be a really strong Game of the Year contender? Like if Halo is good, maybe Halo is probably the shoe in, I guess. But I mean, beyond that, I don't know what I would sit here and say is the definitive Game of the Year this year. So
Yeah, I don't think it's black and white like it was last year.
all right, so other than Chivalry 2, the only other thing that really jumps out to me is Cyberpunk 2077 being in the top of the list on PS4. That's so incredible to me. Like I think people are so thirsty to play new shit that Cyberpunk came back and they're like, ah,
Mhm.
fuck it, I want to play it. But of
Yeah.
course, the other part of it too is that, like to your point before I move on here, is that people, even if people are playing on PS4 Pro or on PS5, it's still going to show as a PS4 game because there's no native PlayStation 5 version of it right now. So
Oh, that's true.
it's hard to say if people are playing on base PS4 or not, but it's still incredible. Number 6, we also have a bunch of news nuggets here, Travis, and jump in wherever you see fit. First nugget: Netflix announced that they will be adding video games to their service in the future and have hired former Facebook and Electronic Arts executive Mike Verdu to lead the charge. Elsewhere, a data miner found images of two DualSense controllers and artwork for Ghost of Tsushima in the code for the Netflix iOS app.
So
What
yeah,
do
I
you,
can play it on my phone?
what do you make of that? Yeah, possibly. I don't know. It's hard to say.
You have to show me how this works. Like, I feel like I feel like if we went back in time 40 years, they were like, Blockbuster's gonna add Atari games to the movies. You know? I feel like we're just doing this weird version of that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's funny, like, if you talk to kids now, like, "Hey, I used to go rent games from Hollywood Video or Blockbuster," they're gonna say, "What the fuck are those stores?" And they're gonna say, "What is renting?"
Yeah,
This could fall into that maybe.
yeah,
I'm is it it's a digital version of GameFly, I guess, would be a way to look at it,
possibly, yeah.
which, I mean, that could be cool. Is this PlayStation's response to Xbox? Is that what I'm hearing?
That's what's unclear right now. I've seen two opinions online today, and I'm not sure which camp that I fall in. So either some people believe that PlayStation is just has an agreement with Netflix to bring some PlayStation games to the service, like Ghost of Tsushima, or putting games on the service. Okay, and then there's other people who are of the belief that Netflix and PlayStation have made a more organic agreement where
Mhm.
possibly Netflix is somehow incorporated into the answer to Xbox Game Pass that Jim Ryan alluded to late last year. I don't know if it's likely that PlayStation would go out and throw a bunch of money at Netflix to come up with some competitor to Xbox Game Pass or something like that. I think that's much less likely than PlayStation just putting some games on the Netflix service. Does that make sense? So
Yeah, yeah, I
I
follow
stand.
you.
That's where I stand. Is that like, hey, I think that Netflix is going to have this thing, and PlayStation is going to have some games on it. That's how I take it.
Yeah, me too. I know that makes sense.
Next nugget here: developer Tango GameWorks announced that the upcoming PlayStation 5 exclusive Ghostwire Tokyo has been delayed into early 2022. Publisher Ubisoft announced on Friday that a pair of upcoming games has been delayed. Rainbow Six Extraction will now launch sometime in January of next year, while Riders Republic is now releasing on October the 28th.
Yeah.
Sucks.
I wonder if that's a reaction to, Battlefield coming out and Call of Duty coming out, or if it's more
Mm.
of or if it's actual, like, technical thing, like, they're having issues with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I will say that it did seem pretty stupid and unlikely that they were going to release Riders Republic on September the 2nd, Rainbow Six on September 16th, and then Far Cry, whatever,
Right.
6 on October the 7th. Like,
Yeah, why are
you're
we
gonna release 3 huge AAA games within a
Right.
month of each other? Like, that seems pretty stupid. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it was always writing on the wall, but I don't know. I'm excited about Riders Republic, though. Also, motion capture appears to have begun this week on the next Spider Man game, according to a now deleted Instagram post from actor Najee Jeter, who
Mm,
plays Miles Morales in the first
mhm,
two installments. And he posted a picture of him in a motion capture
mm.
suit.
Yeah,
So
NDA, motherfucker.
that's right. Got to know how that shit works if you're going to be in business. 2K Sports revealed that NBA 2K22 will launch on September the 10th, and also revealed that the game's cover athletes will be Luka Doncic, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Dirk Nowitzki, and the WNBA's Candace Parker. Did I miss somebody? I feel like I did. Oh, yeah,
Um,
I did. Kevin Durant. Sorry.
oh god, he'll tweet at us. Nice of them to put Candace Parker on a men's basketball game. It's incredible. Why don't they just put a women's softball player on fucking MLB The Show? Like, nobody buys 2K to play with the WNBA. I mean, maybe like 6 girls in the world do it. Like, why are we throwing them a bone just to make some people happy? Like, it's fucking retarded.
Well, welcome to the world.
We need to talk about, like, what the word offended means, by the way. Is that it's
Mm,
because if she's not on this cover, people are quote unquote offended. Being offended is a choice.
yeah, they
Like,
wouldn't know any better if she
right.
wasn't there.
If you call me, listen, there's how can I put this? We'll keep it mildly PG so I don't offend anybody. But like if you come up to me and say, you look like you're not strong, that doesn't bother me. One, I
Mhm.
am not strong, but it doesn't bother me. If you say if you make a comment like, "Can you lift that, bro?" It doesn't make me mad that you're insinuating that I'm not strong. What makes me mad is you're being an asshole and I don't know you. That's very
Right.
different. I'm not offended. Offended is a choice. So, like, if I say a Jew motherfucker to a Jew and it makes one Jew mad but not the other Jew mad, that's because that person's made a choice that offends them. So, like, to me, if it offends you, it's not my problem because you've made that choice to be offended.
Hmm.
That's how I look at offense. Like, offense is a personal choice.
Interesting.
Like, you're not born offended by things. Like,
Sure.
you get upset by people's tones or their aggression or their attitude. That's what I get mad at. So like if somebody called me a fucking moron, I'm going to be more upset about their attitude than I am that they call me a moron. Like I'm not a moron, so like whatever. But like if you're being an asshole for no reason, like that makes me mad. Like don't be an asshole, just be normal. What's your
Right.
fucking problem? Like anyway, the point is we won't need Candace Parker on the cover, and that'll offend some people. That was my point.
Yeah. Well, just buckle up. Also, EA's Battlefield 2042 FAQ revealed that the game will feature cross-save progression and optional cross-platform play when it launches in October.
Which is a good question to you or to other people. Like, are you going to turn? I don't care to play with Xbox people, but I don't like playing with the PC guys because I feel like it's so much easier for them to mod and to cheat. They could turn the resolution down and see me better. Like, I can't do those things. So,
Yeah, the PC ones are the only ones that worry me or irritate me. So, I mean, I'll leave it on at the start and I'll see how it goes. Kind of like Call of Duty, I guess, but don't think I won't turn that shit off if I need to. But Jacob acts like he's going to get it on PC and play crossplay with us, but I don't know. I mean, of course, who fucking knows with that guy? Anyway, next nugget: Sony sponsored a category on popular U.S. game show Jeopardy this week, Travis, and featured a series of PS5 themed questions. Website Push Square reported that FIFA 22 will not get a free PS4 to PS5 upgrade this year, and players who plan to upgrade will instead have to spring for the $90 Ultimate Edition of the game. EA announced over the weekend that this year's iteration will launch on October 1st worldwide. The future of Sega's Judgment franchise is in limbo due to the talent agency for lead actor Takuya Kimura, who plays protagonist Takayuki Yagami, not wanting the actor to appear in PC games.
oh God.
At the very least, the game may remain stranded on consoles for the foreseeable future. Tactical PlayStation VR shooter Firewall 0 Hour received another batch of seasonal content this week called Operation Rubicon. A Samurai Warriors 5 demo will arrive on PS4 on July 20th, featuring 2 stages from the game. Grand Theft Auto Online gets its next major expansion called Los Santos Tuners on July 20th. The update essentially creates a Midnight Club-esque underground car club experience for players. One interesting note is that Rockstar says some cars will be upgradable and drive faster on the PlayStation 5 version of the game when it launches in November. That is very interesting to me. So someone had to explain on Twitter for me to understand what this even, or not on Twitter, but on Push Square's comments page, whatever. So apparently the theory is that because of the way the PS5 can stream the data from the SSD, the cars can go faster than they can on PS4.
Right.
Like literally on the screen move faster because it can't. They have to basically like do graphical tricks to make the cars look like they're going fast on PS4 because they can't load the map and shit fast enough or whatever. So anyway, interesting.
They had to put a governor on it.
But again, nice. Also, publisher Capcom has delayed a multiplayer spin-off Resident Evil Reverse until 2022 after it was originally scheduled to launch sometime this month. Website PlayStation Lifestyle reported a new rumor from Roberto Serrano, who has been incredibly hit or miss with his PlayStation rumors since arriving on the scene. Serrano claims that PlayStation will hold a showcase on August the 12th featuring God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, the next PlayStation VR, and more.
I don't trust him.
No, you got to take that with a big grain of salt. I mean, those are all softballs that you can just throw at the dartboard and hope stick. So it's not like he made any real big, bold proclamation. Also, both Titanfall 1 and 2 have fallen victim to DDoS attacks in recent weeks, and there's very little hope for relief as developer Respawn revealed that they only have 1 or 2 employees still working on the games, while the rest of the team is supporting Apex Legends.
I mean, first of all, the 1 or 2 employees still working on Titanfall, nobody likes them. They're like, fucking send Dave over there. Like, I'm tired of dealing with his ass. And
that's a good point.
Oh, DDoS attacked him. Guess we'll fucking fire Dave. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, there's no shot that those guys are liked by anybody. And that seems incredible. What do you mean there's no relief? Like, that seems like a fucking problem. You should either take it down or, like, I don't know, move some other people over to fix it. I mean, just
I don't think they will. I think they'll just say fuck it. Like, there's cheaters on here every now and then. Whatever. Fuck it.
yeah.
The Last of Us developer Naughty Dog announced that they are hiring for 11 new multiplayer specific jobs, which is presumably for the multiplayer component of The Last of Us Part 2. Rumors have surfaced recently that Warner Brothers Interactive is looking to sell Mortal Kombat developer NetherRealm Studios and Lego game developer TT Games after a complicated merger with Discovery. Warner Brothers has since denied the claims, so we'll see.
Didn't we talk about that earlier?
Well, it's been off and on. So there were rumors that Warner Brothers was going to sell studios, and they said, no, we're going to keep everybody, and now we're back here again. So Wild, the PS4 exclusive title that has been in development for 7 years, is apparently still being worked on, as developer Wild Sheep Studio recently posted job listings that specifically mentioned the game. Works Must Die 3 will come to PlayStation 4 on July 23rd, with a native PS5 version coming later, including a free upgrade. And PlayStation appears to be opting out of taking part in Gamescom 2021, while EA, Ubisoft, Xbox, and others are already confirmed for the show.
You know what I think's interesting about these Gamescom and E3, like, do these groups even need those shows anymore? This isn't 2000 or 2010 or even 15. Like, everything is so digitized. Like, you can just do your own thing and live stream it and you'll be okay. Like, like, even like G4, like, isn't that part of the reason G4 died was because everything moved to the internet and nobody really was, I don't know, it's just odd to me. Like, I think on one hand, people think PlayStation is just like Big League and these guys, like,
No.
but I don't really feel like that.
Yeah, the publishers don't need them. The fans need it more than the publishers. Like, having all those guys at one show where we can just sit down for 3 hours and watch it and be done with it all, as opposed to having to pay attention for, weeks or months out of the year, that it literally only serves the fans, in my opinion, having everybody at one show and to show all their shit off. Does that make sense?
Yeah, about just as for my personal preference, I'd rather have them all have their own thing. I don't want to, like, because every time I've ever watched those shows, I'm sitting for like fucking Bridge of Spirits. I don't care about that. I got to sit through whatever. I don't fucking care about any of this stuff. And then we go to the Xbox portion. Don't have an Xbox, so I really don't care. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
at least it's like, oh, PlayStation's doing a thing on the 10th. Right. Well, I can sit through a couple of games I don't want to watch, but I don't want to sit through fucking Namcon and Ubisoft games I don't want to play. Whatever.
Sure. Website PlayStation Universe reported that reliable data miner Lance McDonald claims Sony is planning to bring multiple PlayStation exclusive games to PC in the future, but noted that none are Bloodborne, as many fans request. Ghost of Tsushima's Iki Island expansion is rumored to add 15 to 20 hours of gameplay, according to a QA tester who posted on Reddit, which has since been deleted, so take that with a grain of salt as well.
Right. But they also said you could access the Iki Island stuff after Chapter 2 of Ghost of Tsushima, which was weird to me because I just pictured it as like it's another island. You jump over to the island and you play for 20 hours. Like, it almost made it seem like it went kind of hand in hand with the rest of the story. Like, I don't really want to do that. I want to do my own separate thing. I don't want to replay the fucking game.
Yeah, I agree with that. Genshin Impact may receive ray tracing on the PlayStation 5 version of the game, according to developer MiHoYo. Aliens Fireteam Elite will take up just under 13 gigabytes on PlayStation 5, according to a PlayStation game size. Elite Dangerous Odyssey expansion has been delayed on PS4 after experiencing various issues on PC. NBA star LeBron James will be coming to Fortnite's character roster. I think he may already be there, actually.
LeBron James.
Whatever. FMV horror title Nightbook from Wells Interactive will launch on PS4 and PS5 on July 27th.
What's FMV?
I was hoping you would. Oh, you asshole. Developer Crytek announced that the Crysis Remastered Trilogy will release at retail stores later this fall.
Dude, I swear Crytek is in a video game. I feel like Crytek is in a Hitman game, or it's like where Ted Williams' head is frozen.
Why do you say that?
It just sounds like, like, man, I want my body to be frozen. Maybe you can bring me like in the future.
Yeah.
You call up Crytek and they put you in a fucking tank.
Yeah, it has a very Terminator ring to it, right? Like Skynet, Crytek. Like, yeah, I know what you're saying. It's like it should be in Total Recall or some shit. Also, Minecraft Dungeons will get an Ultimate Edition and a DLC expansion update on July 28th. Splitgate, a new PvP first-person shooter with portal elements, is available in open beta currently on PS4 and PS5. A new patent from Sony was published last week that centers on the newly acquired EVO tournaments. The patent is for a system that will track tournament achievements across multiple titles and update participant information in real time. Electronic Arts said this week that not to expect any Star Wars related announcements at their upcoming EA Play Live event on July 22nd. God of War voice actor Christopher Judge will play Black Panther in the upcoming War for Wakanda expansion in Marvel's Avengers. Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1 is aiming to launch in the fourth quarter of this year. Destiny 2 developer Bungie is warning players not to create a new character during the Solstice of Heroes event due to a game-breaking bug.
Guys, it's free. Just deal with it.
Activision has added DualSense adaptive trigger support on PC for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Authorities in Ukraine raided a warehouse containing thousands of PS4 Pros being used for illegal crypto mining.
Yes. Oh, I love that. God, yes, fucking get it, guys. Good for you.
They said they had already made like $250,000 already.
What? Why is this illegal? Sounds great. I got one on the floor over here. How much can I make?
$10. Also, a 90s inspired cell shaded wrestling game, Action Arcade Wrestling, will launch on PS4 on August 10th. And in other somewhat unrelated news, Valve is launching a portable console called Steam Deck this December, which will allow players to play PlayStation titles like Horizon Zero Dawn and Death Stranding on the go.
Mm-hmm.
Travis aptly named himself PC2 on the podcast this evening.
I'm just celebrating, guys. You know, second place, second fucking PC. We've had 5 PlayStations.
Yeah, you got that big Steam Deck energy, huh?
Yeah, I do. I'm sure this is another Valve invention that will fail. I really think they're running illegal money. Maybe these Ukrainian people should have tried to just work for Valve.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, I don't know. They do abandon shit pretty often, kind of like Google. So we'll see.
Yes, goddamn.
Website Gematsu reported that developer Wanin Games announced Dusk Diver 2 for PS4. It will launch sometime this winter.
Yeah, Dick Diver 2. That's my daughter. She's an AD pie.
Dick Diver, I hardly know her. Way Forward announced side-scrolling 2D adventure game RWBY.
Yeah, that's a word.
It's not how you say that.
Ruby.
Aerofil, whatever. Aerofil will launch on PS4 and PS5 sometime in 2022. Shark RPG Maneater will receive its Truth Quest DLC on August 31st on PS4 and PS5. The Smurfs Mission V-Leaf or Vi-Leaf, however the hell you say that.
Oh, I thought you misspelled village.
No, fake word. Will release on PS5 sometime in 2022. Turn-based strategy game Phoenix Point Behemoth Edition will release on PS4 on October 1st, with a PS5 version due out later in the year with a free upgrade for PS4 owners. Platform fighting game Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl was announced and will launch on PS4 and PS5 sometime this fall.
And Kel can finally kill Keenan. It's been waiting for 25 years.
Oh, man. People were really excited about that game, and I don't understand, but whatever. I'm not really into platform brawlers necessarily. Dark fantasy side-scrolling action game Ender Lilies, Quietus of the Nights, which we talk about every week on the show, will launch on PS4 on July 20th after a brief delay.
Bet.
JRPG The Caligula Effect 2 will come to PS4 on October the 19th in North America and October 22nd in Europe. The zombie survival roguelite game The Last Stand Aftermath will launch on PS4 and PS5 in the fourth quarter of this year. The game looks kind of cool. The Cruel King and the Great Hero will release on PS4 in the West in early 2022. Party game My Singing Monsters Playground will launch digitally on PS4 and PS5 sometime in November. Multiplayer arena brawler Gigabash will launch on PS4 sometime in early 2022. Low poly narrative adventure game Button City will release on PS5 on August the 10th. Away, the survival series has added a PS5 version and will also come to PS4 sometime later this summer. Dark fantasy Wild West action RPG Weird West will launch on PS4 this fall. Interactive story game Wayward Strand will release on PS4 and PS5 sometime in 2022. Tetris Effect will receive its multiplayer update called Connected on August 18th on PS4. Side-scrolling shoot-'em-up game Rolling Gunner and Overpower will release on PS4 later this year. And finally, Gamatsu reported that sumo group company Pipeworks Studios, I don't know why that makes me laugh, announced the founding of a new Vancouver-based studio called Timber Games, which is led by Joe Nichols, great country singer, the former vice president and grandmaster is what I was about to say. Oh, wow. What planet am I on?
Grandmaster. That's good.
Oh, wow. Grandmaster. Oh, buddy.
I don't think that's what he wants to be.
He might be. So Joe Nichols, the former vice president and general manager of Maxis, which is the developer of the Sims games, as well as Zoe Curnow, the former director of a story campaign for Gears of War, and Jeff Coates, the former art and creative director on games like Company of Heroes, Dead Rising 4, and others. And that is all for the news this week. It's time for me to now turn it over to Travis for a rather meager list of new game releases.
Mm-hmm. Why is Zoe pronounced Zoe and Joe is not pronounced Joey, but they're both in an OE? Okay.
Yeah, you're on to something.
Wonder about that. Keep me up at night. All right. On July the 12th, we had Curious Cases. On the 13th, we had Where the Heart Leads. On the 15th, we have Little Witch Academia. VR Broom Racing on the VR. That sounds kind of dope. We also had Lost at Sea on the 5 and the 4. On the 16th, we have F1 2021 on the 5 and 4. Observer System Redo. And Within the Blade. And that's all for the new games.
Very, very piss poor list this week, other than F1, I guess. It's getting good reviews, which you haven't bought it yet. Surprises me. But anyway.
I told you earlier, it's an EA game. I'm not going to buy any EA games until they go on sale, just like FIFA.
Yeah. It'll be on sale in like 2 months.
Right,
Seriously.
exactly.
It'll be half off in like probably 1st of September. So just hang in there.
So I'm going to do the same thing with Battlefield. I'm going to wait till it goes on sale.
Oh, fuck right off with that. All right, Travis, let's wrap the show up here, as we always do, by discussing what we are looking forward to in the week ahead.
You mean game-wise or just like in the world?
I mean, either one is fine.
All right. Well,
I can't believe you're looking forward to anything in the real world, though.
Well, I'm not. That's what I was just going to say. I don't have anything.
Yeah.
So I told you last week, I downloaded Dirt Rally. I feel like I'm going to end up playing that at some point. It's just going to happen. I don't really have a racing game to play right now. I'm just so bored with what's out anyway. But so, yeah, I'll probably give that a go. I think we're doing what are we doing tonight? What's it called?
The
Incident.
opportunity mission.
Yeah, we'll do that tonight. See how that goes. Maybe we'll have a better barometer on why some people don't like the Blood Money DLC. But again, it's Red Dead, and we get to be bandits. And I mean, Jesus, guys, complain about something important is what I feel like. Just we got a fucking update for the first time in a year. God, it's okay. And then we'll try arcade again. And again, we had talked about maybe upping the difficulty. Again, I'm afraid it's going to be like exponentially harder because the difficulty we were on, it was just getting to the point on level 5 where it was before we got off. That was like maybe this could get a little dangerous.
Right.
I ran out of ammo a couple of times. It got a little sketchy once or twice, but we'll see how that goes. It's fun. I really enjoy those ones, the big bubbles that explode.
Oh yeah.
I just think they're inherently funny, and I don't really know why. They just look goofy as fuck to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than that, I'll probably throw in some FIFA if I get bored. Like, I don't know. I mean, I say I'm going to play 2 more chapters of an Innocent Tale, but A Tale of Innocence, whatever it's called. But
A Plague Tale?
Yeah, that's what I meant. So, again, names are important to me. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. It's just, I don't know. The first chapter, something happens at the very beginning of the game that I don't like, and I was immediately turned off. So for exposition, for whatever you're going to call it, the exposition of the story, it was great, but I don't know. It just kind of took me out of it in a weird way.
Is that it? Is that all you got?
I think so. I can't think of anything, unless I irrationally buy F1 for some reason.
It'll just take the right video to get you on board with that. I feel like you'll buckle like a lawn chair. So for me, I also plan to continue on with Blood Money. We'll see what this opportunity mission means, what it turns out to be, and go from there. I do enjoy the update though, so I'll play a little bit more of that. I'm gonna at the very least get to level 25 on the Outlaw Pass because there's a cool variant for the Cattleman revolver that I want.
Oh yeah.
And then definitely gonna play some more Arcadegeddon this evening. Check that out. Check out the new update. See what they've tweaked. And then hopefully we'll mix in some Chivalry this week as well. We didn't play a whole lot this week after the Red Dead update came out. I'd really like to get a few more chapters done this weekend of A Plague Tale as well. I'm going to go ahead and probably see that game through to the end. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I'm leaving out, but probably not. Oh, go ahead.
Is the clip you're excited to share? Is it from the thing I did the first night we got back on, or is it from what you did to me yesterday?
No, yes, I'll get to that. So the last thing that I'm looking forward to this week is after I talked a little bit of shit about it recently, said that it was a little samey. Dirt 5 is putting out a big update on the 20th, which I think is Wednesday, maybe Tuesday, and they're going to basically revamp all of their DualSense support for the game and 3D audio. So I want to check that out. So I've got that re-downloaded to see what they've done, what they've changed, and they're adding some cars and stuff. So
download Dirt Rally 2.0 and play the Bloodborne of racing games with me.
Bloodborne racing games?
Or I'm sorry, that's not what I meant to say. It is what's that game that's really fucking hard? Bloodborne's hard, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
yeah.
I was right then. Yeah, it's fucking hard. Just download it and hate it with me.
I can't do it. I tried to play Rally at your house at one time, and I'm pretty sure I drove off of a cliff in a corner.
You immediately drove into immediately crashed.
I just can't do it. That's too much. I want an open world racing game like The Crew, but I want it to be pretty and I want it to run at 60 frames. And that doesn't exist right now until Test Drive, really, for us. So anyway, before we go here, the video that I've got to make maybe tonight to share to Twitter and YouTube is last night when we were playing, we were on our way from point A to B, whatever we were going to, whatever the objective was. We're on our separate horses and we're coming across a NPC on his horse coming toward us, right? So I was riding my horse in a way that forced him to turn broadside toward you, to where you rode your horse right into the guy. You both come off of it, just a head-on collision, basically. Horses collapse, you guys come flying off. And I stopped and turned around and I can hear all this commotion behind me. And I stopped and turned around and just enough time to watch you pull your gun out and blow the guy's head off as he's talking shit to you. And I just lost it. And then like 60 seconds later down the path, down the road, he did the exact same thing again. And it was just as good. So I have clips of all of it, and I'm gonna clip those together.
I blew that fucking guy's head off.
Yeah, you did. I want to make like a 30-second clip tonight and put it on Twitter and YouTube at some point soon. But it cracked me up.
Yeah, he was like, "Hey, buddy, you better," and I was like, "Bow, you better shut the fuck up."
Oh, it's so good. You've been crashing into everything. So
yeah. As soon as I got on the horse the first time, I immediately shot a guy. I hit R2 and I just fucking blew his head off the side. I mean, hit the wrong. I thought I was trying to gas him up,
My God. Anyway, Travis, I think that's it for us this episode. We will get out of here. If you guys enjoyed the show, which we hope that you did, we strongly suggest that you did, and that we insist that you enjoy it, as a matter of fact. And if you did, then please leave us a review on your podcast service of choice. Also, maybe consider subscribing so that you never miss an episode. You'll have them waiting for you each and every Monday right in your feed. Also, if you would be kind and share us with a friend or a loved one who would enjoy a PlayStation podcast where they can get all of the week's news, rumors, and more in less than 90 minutes, we would very much appreciate you. We hope to have you back next time to hear us, I should say. You guys have a great week. Take care, and we will talk at you next time. Bye-bye.